Hey everyone, I'm Jordan, the Shelf Life Program Manager here at Midwest Labs, and I'm happy to talk to you today about some different topics and concepts in shelf life. What is shelf life? So that's a question I get a lot. So on a basic level, what shelf life is looking at how your product changes over time in its normal storage conditions. So for example, what changes about your product as it sits on a shelf? So say you have cookies. How are those cookies different from day 0 to say 6 months down the road? So shelf life is a way of looking at that and helping to put numbers and data to how something changes over time. So why is shelf life useful, right? Why would you want to spend the time and the money to figure this out? You could just put something conservative and safe on there and go, oh, it's probably good for a couple months. But why put all the effort in? So the reason that you want to put the effort in is because it allows you to better understand your product and how it changes over time. So as opposed to just going, well, products usually get 3 months in this packaging or 6 months. If you actually run the study, maybe you can get more than that. And if you do get more than that, it helps you cut down on waste, for example, a product that's beyond its expiration. So there's a lot of different benefits there. Another option is you could potentially optimize your packaging. So say you are normally using a really thick film on your packaging, and you do some testing and you find out that a thinner film works just as well, you're not noticing any differences. That's a great way to save some money on, say, your packaging or the cost of production of your product. So there's a variety of different kind of benefits and angles depending on what you're looking at to running shelf life studies. Okay, so you've heard about the shelf life study thing, why it's beneficial, positives, but why do it with us, right? Why involve Midwest Lab? So what we offer is a little bit different than most other labs out there regarding shelf life programs. Our shelf life studies are completely customizable to what you're looking for. So we don't have a set package. We have a couple of different set conditions, refrigerated, frozen, ambient, accelerated, but beyond that, what you want to do with it and how you want to do this is really up to you as the client. We can really offer any of the testing that we run as a company, which is a huge fee schedule, a very large assortment of testing. We can set the intervals to what you'd want. We can test things in say triplicate or duplicate if you'd like. So we have a wide range of options. We can even send you a sample back at each time point. So we offer a lot of very kind of hands-on and customized aspects to how you want to run your study. So for all the pet food folks out there, pet treats, same category type thing, why you might want to run a study. So you don't necessarily have the same requirements as human food. We know that in terms of what you may or may not have to prove or show, but there's still plenty of room to potentially optimize things about your pet treat or your food, whatever it might be. So maybe you want to verify your nutritional claims. Maybe you've got an AFCO claim and you want to make sure that you are hitting that at the start and end of your shelf life. That's a great reason to run a study. Maybe you're looking at doing a different form of packaging and you just want to make sure that you're not getting a bunch of moisture in the product with the new packaging, or you're not seeing mold growth. That's another great reason to run one. So there's a variety of reasons to run a shelf life study. Even if it's not a human consumption product, there's still really useful stuff that you can learn about your product or that you can kind of pick up on just from a shelf life study in general. Okay, so you do want to run a study, say on your pet treat, your product, but you're not sure what to look at or what you might want to do. Well, I've got some general advice for you on that. For one, we do often see people looking at some microbial testing. So oftentimes pet food clients will look at things like maybe yeast and mold. They want to know if there's anything going on in the product in terms of that, especially if their product is maybe a little more moist, maybe it's not in a can or it's not in super robust packaging. That's always a good thing to keep an eye on. That's something we see a lot. And another thing that we see quite a bit is actually sensory testing. So normally when people think of sensory testing, they think of like a human food testing lab. When it comes to pet food though, we can still offer sensory testing. We don't eat it, but we will comment on things like Smell changes over time, or any sort of visual changes, or textural changes. A big one is some products will get significantly harder or softer, and all that's information that could be useful about your product and how it ages. Beyond those things, we also do a lot of analytical testing on pet food treats. So we'll see stuff like peroxide and pianistidine in looking at oxidation, so oxidation of fats, or rancidity. We'll see people looking at, say, their guaranteed analysis things like protein, moisture, fat, ash, all of that stuff. And the other big one we'll often see is clients will look at, say, their vitamin and mineral content, specifically vitamin content, because in a lot of cases, those vitamins may degrade over time or over the duration of your shelf life. So a lot of clients want to make sure that they're meeting their label claim throughout their shelf life, that there's no significant change from, say, the start to the end. Okay, so you decided to do shelf life with us. At the start of it, you might think, okay, there's a lot of steps to this. What do I need? How much sample? What does it cost? And to be honest, the best thing you can do is reach out to us. Shoot us an email, give us a call, and reach out about a shelf life study. So we have a formal shelf life study questionnaire. It's a pretty straightforward fillable PDF that captures a lot of the basics of what you want in a study or what you're looking for, right? And with that, we work with you to hone in on a specific quote or project bid, and from there, we basically build the study. So we work with you at every step of the way, kind of going from, okay, filling out basic info to formulating a quote and a bid, and then ultimately how much product you need to send in, and then the price breakdown is all on there.